Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're journeying into something truly, chilling and fascinating. We're heading to Scotland, to Glamis Castle.
Ah, Glamis. A place with such beauty, but also this brooding atmosphere.
Exactly. It's steeped in history, but it's also rumored to hold one of Scotland's most enduring and, frankly, terrifying secrets. The monster of Glamis.
A story that just refuses to die down.
Right. And our mission today isn't just to, retell an old ghost story. We want to unpack the legend, sure, but then really dive into this pretty wild conspiracy theory.
It pushes it way beyond just a haunting, doesn't it?
Totally. We're talking about royal shame, potentially a hidden heir, and this idea of a centuries-long cover-up. If any of that were true, it would change a lot.
It's a fascinating mix, isn't it? You've got history, genuine folklore, and then this layer of deep skepticism all tangled together.
Yeah.
So we'll look at what the believers, the proponents of the theory, point to as, their evidence for the monster and the cover-up.
But we also need to look at the other side.
Absolutely. We'll present the mainstream view, the more logical explanations. The goal really is to help you understand why this particular theory has such a strong grip, why it persists.
So the big question hanging over us today as we sort of wander the halls of Glamis in our minds, is this just a really macabre, spooky story? Or could there be a hidden truth there, something deliberately buried? Okay, let's set the scene. Glamis Castle itself. It's in Angus, Scotland. Beautiful place. It's been the family seat of the Lions, later the Bowes Lions, since way back in the 14th century.
A very long history.
A very long history, and connections to royalty, obviously. It's maybe most famous now as the childhood home of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, Elizabeth Bowen.
Right, and that connection becomes crucial later.
It does, and like a lot of ancient castles, it's got its share of ghost stories, doesn't it? The Grey Lady, Earl Beardy, playing cards with the devil, standard spooky stuff.
It definitely has that reputation. One of the most haunted spots in Scotland, people say. But the monster legend, that's something else. It's darker, more specific.
So tell us about the core legend. Where did it start?
Oh, it really seems to have gained momentum in the 19th century, but the story itself is set much earlier, maybe late 17th, early 18th century.
Okay.
And the story goes that a child was born to the Bowes Lion family, the Earl of Strathmore's family, but this child was, severely deformed.
Deformed how?
The descriptions that have come down are quite shocking. Things like a human toad, hideous aberration, just incredibly grotesque, something considered too monstrous to be seen.
Wow. Okay. So what happened to this child, according to the legend?
This is the really chilling part. Instead of, letting the child pass away quietly or sending it off somewhere, the legend insists it was kept alive.
Alive, but hidden.
Exactly. Secretly imprisoned, locked away in a hidden windowless room deep inside the castle walls. And supposedly this creature lived for decades, maybe over 100 years.
Decades locked in a room.
Growing into this monstrous adult figure, some accounts claim its cries or strange noises could sometimes be heard echoing through the castle at night.
That's horrifying. And this secret room idea is central, right?
Absolutely central. The secret room or the sealed chamber. The story goes that its location was known only to the reigning earl, his heir apparent, and maybe one trusted estate factor or lawyer.
And the secret was passed down.
Passed down from father to son upon the heir reaching adulthood, usually 21. A solemn, terrible oath of secrecy.
Why? What was the motivation for such an extreme, lifelong concealment?
Shame. Immense shame and fear. It was seen as a family curse, a blot on their lineage. Something that, if revealed, could destroy their reputation, their standing.
You can almost understand the pressure in that era.
Oh, completely. And remember, this isn't just some abstract tale. People who lived and worked in the castle over the years claimed they heard things, saw fleeting glimpses. It kept the story alive.
And then there's the architecture itself, the famous Rettle.
Ah, yes, the missing room. That old challenge. You stand outside Glamis, count all the windows, then you go inside and count all the rooms.
And the numbers don't match up.
Supposedly, never. There are always more windows visible from the outside than there are corresponding rooms inside. And for believers in the legend, that discrepancy is the hidden chamber. It's physical proof. And throughout all this, for centuries, the Bowes Lion family has maintained this very dignified silence. They don't confirm it. They don't deny it.
Which, ironically, just fuels the fire for the conspiracy theorists, right? They see the silence as proof of a cover-up.
Precisely. Deliberate obfuscation, they'd call it. Hiding something terrible.
Okay, so that's the legend. Spooky, gothic. But how does it become this huge conspiracy involving the royal family? That's the next level, isn't it? The royal shame, hidden heir, centuries-old cover-up theory.
Yes, this is where it elevates from folklore to something proponents claim is a hidden historical reality with massive implications.
So what's the core claim of the conspiracy theory?
The theory insists the monster wasn't just a story. It was a real, living person, a legitimate male heir to the earldom of Strathmore and Kinghorn, born into the Bowes-Lyon family.
A legitimate heir?
Yes. Born with extreme physical deformities. Maybe genetic, maybe from inbreeding, which happened in aristocratic families, or maybe something else entirely. But the key is legitimate.
Yeah.
And the human toad description. The theory takes that somewhat literally, suggesting the deformity was truly shocking.
So locking him up wasn't just about shame, it was calculated.
Highly calculated, according to the theory. Think about the time period. Severe deformities weren't just seen as unfortunate. They could be interpreted as signs of divine wrath, of evil, of witchcraft even.
Okay, right. Public knowledge could have been disastrous.
Utterly disastrous. Social ruin, loss of status, maybe even persecution. So the imprisonment wasn't just hiding shame. It was a strategic move to protect the family's power and lineage.
And the secret room, the horror chamber, becomes a purpose-built prison.
That's the belief. A real physical place, sealed off, perhaps even bricked up eventually. And the secret passed down wasn't just family lore. It was an oath-bound burden protecting this explosive truth.
This is where it gets really juicy, though. The royal connection. Because Glamis was the Queen Mother's childhood home.
Exactly. Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon married into the British royal family. So if her ancestral home held this dark secret, if her family line included this hidden, monstrous figure,
it implicates the crown itself.
That's the core of the conspiracy. The revelation of a grotesque, deformed heir in such a prominent family, now directly linked by marriage to the throne. It could be seen as a threat to the monarchy's image.
How so? A threat?
Well, think about it. Questions about the purity of the bloodline, genetic defects, whispers of divine disfavor. In an era where image and lineage were paramount for royalty, such a scandal could potentially undermine legitimacy or at least cause a massive public relations crisis.
So the theory suggests the cover-up intensified once the royal marriage happened.
Precisely. It potentially went from being a dark family secret to something closer to a state secret, needing protection by the establishment.
Right. So boiling it down, the why for the cover-up, according to the theory, is protecting the bloodline's image, stopping a huge scandal, controlling the narrative.
And maybe, just maybe, some element of genuine fear about the nature of the monster itself, whether it was just deformed or something more.
Okay, let's pivot to the evidence proponents point to. What makes them so sure this is more than just a story?
Well, number one, as we mentioned, is the missing room phenomenon.
The window counting thing.
Yes. For believers, this isn't just a quirk of architecture. It's consistent, it's measurable, and it points directly, they say, to a deliberately concealed space. The numbers don't lie, is the argument. It has to be the monster's prison.
But what do architects or historians say about that? Is it really that unusual for old castles?
Well, the counter-argument is that these discrepancies are actually pretty common in sprawling ancient buildings like Glamis. Think about centuries of renovations, additions, blocked-up passages. Windows might light stairwells, deep closets, awkward spaces, not counted as rooms. Plus, the whole count the windows thing is a classic bit of castle marketing, Adds to the mystery.
Okay, so it could just be an illusion or clever storytelling?
It could be. It's also a very common trope in Gothic literature. The big, spooky house with a hidden secret room. Life imitating art, or perhaps art influencing the legend.
All right, what's next on the proponents list?
The secret of Glamis itself. The tradition of the Earl telling his heir something profound and secret on his 21st birthday.
That sounds significant.
Proponents argue it points to something truly dark and burdensome. Why else the secrecy, the oath? The monster, they say, is the most logical explanation for such a heavy secret.
But again, could it be something else? Less monstrous?
Easily. Mainstream thinking suggests it might have been a different family secret. Maybe about finances, hidden debts, an illegitimate child somewhere else in the lineage, even hidden treasure. Or could it just been a ritual to maintain family mystique, a bit of theater?
And the family silence just adds to it all.
Exactly. It preserves the mystery, which, let's be honest, probably doesn't hurt visitor numbers at the castle either.
True. What about the eyewitness accounts? The noises, the sightings?
The alleged eyewitness accounts and whispers. These are anecdotes passed down through generations, staff, guests, even family members hinting at strange sounds, shuffling, cries, or fleeting glimpses of something unsettling. Proponents collect these stories and argue their persistence over centuries suggests genuine observation, not just imagination.
But ghost stories are common in old places, right?
Extremely common. Skeptics would classify these as typical folklore or, psychological suggestion. If you expect to hear or see something spooky in a haunted castle.
You probably will. Your mind plays tricks.
Precisely. Creaks become footsteps, shadows become figures, simple misidentification or the power of suggestion.
Okay. What about the description itself? The human toad. That's so specific.
The human toad description is certainly powerful. Believers argue its very grotesqueness is evidence. It suggests a deformity so extreme that hiding it away for life seemed like the only option. It's too specific to be made up, they'd say.
But folklore loves exaggeration, doesn't it? Making things more monstrous.
Absolutely. That description is almost certainly folkloric hyperbole, designed for maximum horror. While hiding disabilities was sadly common historically due to stigma, the monster angle is likely pure embellishment.
Right. Then there's the sheer logistics, keeping someone hidden for decades, maybe a century.
The long life and continuous imprisonment. Proponents see this longevity as proof of a dedicated, well-resourced, and continuous effort to maintain the secret, highlighting its importance.
But where's the proof? Any records? Letters? Anything?
And that's the biggest counter-argument, the lack of historical records. Critically, there is zero credible, verifiable historical documentation. No birth record, no death certificate, no letters, no diary entries, no court documents, nothing.
Which seems unlikely for something this major lasting so long.
Highly unlikely. For a secret involving an earl's heir, kept for potentially over a century, involving multiple generations and trusted retainers. The idea that it left absolutely no trace in any records is incredibly improbable. Leaks happen. Documents survive.
Okay. Now the royal family link. Proponents point to other secrets, like the Bowes-Lyon cousins, Nerissa and Catherine.
Yes, the Bowes-Lyon family's proximity to the royal family and the precedent set by Nerissa and Catherine. These were cousins of the Queen Mother who had severe learning disabilities and were institutionalized. For a time, they were even listed in Burke's peerage as having died when they were still alive.
So the argument is, if they covered that up, they could cover up the monster.
That's the parallel proponents draw. They see it as evidence that the family, and by extension the establishment, is capable of managing and suppressing sensitive information to protect the royal image. It makes the Glamis cover-up seem plausible in that context.
But were those situations really comparable? And they did eventually come out.
That's the crucial difference historians emphasize. Nerissa and Catherine had learning disabilities, not the kind of extreme physical deformities described in the monster legend. And yes, their situation, while kept private for a long time, was eventually acknowledged. It doesn't provide direct historical proof for a physically monstrous heir hidden for centuries at Glamis. The scale and nature of the alleged Glamis secret are vastly different.
And lastly, the castle's general vibe. Its spooky reputation.
Yeah, the castle's overall reputation for darkness and secrets. For proponents, this isn't just atmosphere. It's like a psychic echo, a residue of the horror that was hidden there. The place feels cursed because it was.
Whereas the flip side is?
It's simply the evolution of folklore. Legends grow and change. Maybe there was a kernel of truth, perhaps a child with a disability hidden for a time, which was common, and the story got wildly embellished over centuries. And let's not forget the castle's own promotion of its mystique.
Right. A haunted castle is good for business.
Definitely. The ambiguity, the unanswered questions, the spooky stories, they all draw visitors. There's little incentive for the estate to definitively debunk its most famous legend.
Okay, so we've got the legend, the conspiracy theory, the evidence, and the debunking. But despite the lack of hard proof, this story, this conspiracy, it really sticks around. Why? Why does it have such enduring power?
That's a great question. I think there are several reasons, all feeding into each other. First, probably the biggest one, is the allure of royal secrets.
We just love gossip about the royals, don't we?
We do. There's an enduring public fascination with aristocracy, monarchy, and the idea that behind the palaces and titles, there are hidden scandals, dark secrets, things they don't want us to know. It's compelling stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you can't discount the setting. The Gothic charm of the castle itself. Glamis is the perfect stage. It looks the part. Ancient, imposing, full of shadows. It feels like a place that could hide a monster.
The atmosphere fuels the story.
Absolutely. And connected to that is the missing room as tangible proof. Even if it can be explained architecturally, that physical puzzle, the windows not matching the rooms, gives people something concrete to latch onto. It feels like a real clue.
Something you can almost touch.
Exactly. It makes the abstract secret feel more grounded. Plus, the theory taps into a wider distrust of elite secrecy.
Like people in power hide things.
Right. There's a general skepticism about powerful institutions, be they aristocratic families or governments, and a readiness to believe they'd go to great lengths to protect their reputation or cover up inconvenient truths. This story fits right into that narrative.
And it's just such a sensational idea, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The what if factor is huge. What if there really was a monstrous heir? What if it was hidden for a century? What if it connects to the royals? The sheer drama of it is incredibly powerful. It's a story that grabs you.
Hard to resist that kind of speculation.
Very hard. And it speaks to the enduring power of folklore itself. Some stories just become part of the landscape, part of our collective imagination. They get told and retold, taking on a life of their own, almost regardless of the facts. The Glamis monster is one of those archetypal legends. And finally, I think there's something deeper too. Our human fascination with deformity and the other. The idea of the grotesque, the hidden, the monstrous. It taps into primal fears, but also a kind of morbid curiosity about the boundaries of humanity, about things that are different and hidden away.
So it hits a lot of buttons. Secrets, royalty, spookiness, mistrust, primal fears.
All of them. That's why it sticks.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've delved into the monster of Glamis Castle. It starts as this chilling Scottish legend, but the conspiracy theory elevates it into this grand, terrifying narrative.
Yeah, a narrative of deep-seated royal secrets, unbearable shame, and a cover-up lasting centuries, all revolving around this supposed monstrous heir hidden away to protect a lineage and ultimately the crown itself.
And while the mainstream view, looking at history and folklore, sees it as a powerful Gothic tale, but one lacking real, solid evidence.
The conspiracy theory absolutely continues to fascinate. Its power really comes from that mix we talked about, the magic and mystery surrounding royalty, the undeniable atmosphere of Glamis Castle, and just our basic human pull towards uncovering hidden truths.
So as you, our listeners, think about all the secrets old castles might hold, maybe give a thought to the whispers from Glamis. Is the monster just a fantastic, shiver-inducing story spun from folklore and fear?
Or could it be something more? A profound, deliberately hidden truth, a living symbol of shame so deep it had to be locked away by, as the theorist might say, those who don't want us to know.
Locked away in the darkest corners of a Scottish fortress. For now, the answer is still lost in the mists of legend. But that captivating, unsettling what-if of the monster of Glamis, it definitely keeps echoing.